Hey everyone, I finished reading Classic Punisher. Now, I've read this a couple of times before. I was reading it at work today. I wanted to do another Punisher comic review, and I kind of wanted to go in order of like chronological order of Punisher comics. The original appearance in Spider-Man, his reappearance in Spider-Man, and I think this was one of his very first appearances on his own in a black and white like magazine style comic. Now, one of the things with it being a magazine and not a comic was they didn't have to be approved by the Comics Code, so they were allowed to do they were allowed to go farther. It didn't have to be stuck with uh, yeah, they could go farther. They could take more risks. I don't know how to. I'm very tired. Uh, they can show like some pretty intense violence in here. They can have like very dark outcomes. Punisher's allowed to use a gun realistically. One of the things that kind of surprised me reading this that I haven't really thought about much with Punisher is some of some of it is kind of uncomfortable to look at now. Like like this very first page, we see Punisher up there with a gun, aiming at a crowd of people, and it's just a very disturbing image, especially at the moment. So yeah, but it's like he's the good guy. It's a twist. It's a fake out where you think he's gonna assassinate somebody, but no, it turns out he's going to assassinate the assassin. There's an assassin on this other roof. He shoots him, but he misses. He like just like hits his arm or something. So he goes over. He kicks the gun away from the would be assassin, and then he realizes he knows this guy. He's the guy he served with in Vietnam. And Punisher's like, dude, what happened to you? And he's like, what happened to me? What happened to you? What's with the outfit? I do like that they acknowledge it's kind of an outlandish outfit. And so anyway, it turns out the guy, when he came back from the war, he couldn't do anything. No one wanted to associate with him. And so this is what he's had to do to survive. And then some helicopter comes by and drops a bomb on the poor guy. And so then Punisher is trying to figure out what's the deeper story here. Like his friend wasn't just doing this for himself; he was doing it for someone else. He was a hired mercenary. So he starts digging, and we get to see like his connections in the criminal world. Some like people he associates with now. It's all really interesting. And oddly, we don't. I don't think these characters ever show up again. So I guess they didn't really stick for whatever reason. But anyway, it ends with Punisher does what Punisher does. He goes in, kills all the bad guys, and that's that. Then there's another story in here where there's this woman, an escort or something, that Frank is talking to, and when he's and oh, this is something we get to see the origin for Frank Castle becoming Punisher. That fateful walk in the park with his family that went bad when they came across a mob hit. So and we get to see that. We get to see it like it's pretty intense. It's not as intense as it would be in like the Max comics later, but for the time especially, and for a character who spun off from Spider-Man, yeah, this is pretty dark and intense. And I don't know, I'm really happy actually that someone had like the thought to like, hey, let's try and do something like really mature with Punisher, this silly Spider-Man villain or anti-hero character, sometimes ally, whatever he is. Oh, and there's a neat little uh, thing where, what was it? When Punisher's trying to track down some of the bad guys, he looks them up on this computer, this like police computer, and we see on the back there's a picture of Kingpin, Jigsaw. There was somebody else, I can't remember who. I think they were covered up or something. But anyway, it's interesting that Jigsaw was actually in this because I don't think he had, or yeah, I don't think Circle of Blood had come out yet and really established Jigsaw as like the main bad guy for Punisher yet. So anyway, back to the second story. The woman he's telling this his origin story to. It turns out that she's gonna kill him because she was associated with the guys that he had killed before in the previous story. So that's a neat little connection and a neat little callback. And one of the odd things in this is in the back there's a extra story written just for, like, this paperback collection. And oddly, like, it's still in black and white, but it's clearly written, like, quite a while after these ones. Let's see if I can... Yeah, I'm not sure when these were actually released. They do have, like, the covers. Yeah, like, I don't know, from the cover. Oh, and that nice Bob Larkin art, that's really cool. I wish it was in color, though. Oh, and I gotta say, I like the original Punisher logo, with the little skull and the P. There's a little target dotting the I. Oh, and also, something about the font of the letters reminds me of Goonies, and that's really cool. So, yeah, I can't find the year on it, but... Yeah, I think it was before Circle of Blood, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, in the back, we have a little story that's all about, microchip, kind of. It starts off with Punisher is in the park flying a Malaysian war kite, which apparently is like a type of kite for like a sport where you have these kites with little blades and you try and like cut the other kite or cut its string so that it crashes. Okay. So anyway, he's just flying it, not really doing anything, and then another war kite comes in and slices his kite up. And he's like, huh, that's weird. Who else? Is someone trying to get my attention? So then he goes over to where the other kite is, and he finds there's like a case of beer there. And it was, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. It was like specifically from somewhere. And so oh yeah, that's where the computer thing. Okay, so yeah, then Circle of Blood would have came out, because this is where they had that computer screen in the background. There it is. Let's see. Seijo Kanaka is the other guy they show. That guy there at the bottom that kind of looks like Svengoolie. So anyway, he's looking up who it could be. Then he's going to talk to Microchip. Microchip's not in the previous two stories in here, so it's kind of odd that this was made, especially for this, when it doesn't necessarily tie in with the other ones. So anyway, Punisher is trying to catch the guy with the other kite, and so eventually he walks over and he finds it's Microchip, and this is the anniversary of Microchip's son's death, Junior. Let's see, he died, I can't remember, like, really early in, like, the main Punisher series, which, oh, I actually have right behind me here. So anyway, they drink a toast to his son, and that's the end of the comic, and yeah, I really like this. This was a really cool story, a couple of stories for Punisher. Um, the last one's my favorite because it's more of a personal story, and those are always, like, my favorites when it comes to Punisher. Well, that and like some of the more goofy ones, or the ones where like Frank is getting really intense. Like one of my favorite ones is where, or yeah, I'm gonna talk about it when I get to it, but I just want to focus on this. This was really cool, and it's actually pretty easy to find. Still, you can like find a copy for under $10 on eBay still, and like this is in brand new shape, and I got it like as part of a sale. Like it was a buy two get one free thing. So yeah. I really enjoyed this. This was a really good one. It's a pretty good introduction for Punisher. I feel like it's probably a little better than the Circle of Blood miniseries, because that one, I don't know, I've always felt that was kind of slow. This one, it gets going pretty quick, and because it's this, like, it was printed in, like, a magazine format, they weren't hindered by the comics code, so they were allowed to have, like, some violence. They could have, like, a more realistic gunplay and tense moments and things like that, so... yeah, I don't know what else to say, so see ya.